Okay. So how are you, Jeff?
Good. How are you?
Actually, I keep progressing a tiny bit a day, and
Did you
I've
say
got definitely
progressing or
better.
regressing?
What?
Did you say you're progressing or regressing?
Progressing.
Okay, good. I hope that was the case.
um, Definitely feel slightly stronger than last time I was with you.
Good.
um, so it's it's coming. It's just slow. And that's
Good.
partly age, I think.
Yeah, and it's just partly the nature of what's wrong with your back too. It's not a quick fix by any means.
No, and unfortunately, because I didn't or couldn't do my normal routine of stretches and strengthening exercises, my spinal stenosis got worse for a
Oh
while.
yeah, wow.
So, um, blah, blah, blah. We've all got our
Yeah.
things. So, um, perhaps then tomorrow, if you're feeling better. So, questions, reports?
As I said, I
Yeah,
Nothing immediately.
all right. Um, any further questions about lengthening?
Um, no, I mean you answered them pretty well last time. It's just a matter of me getting more familiar with it energetically and physically.
Yep. Okay. So, are you able to stand?
I'm sorry.
Are you able to stand?
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Well, don't.
I've I've been just trying to avoid sudden head movements. I think in God's number two is not a good idea because
Yeah.
so
Well, you.
things like that. But may not do anything to me. I'm just trying to avoid them to
Yeah.
stop
Yeah.
triggering something. But yes, I can stand.
Okay. Um, Sorry, Jeff. Just a side word to Bill in reference to that.
Sure.
So, um, just to always when you have any kind of physical issue, you make your movement appropriate for whatever's
Yeah,
going on.
yeah.
And so, two may only be here.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be down here.
Okay.
Two.
Yeah, I should have thought of that. Yeah, I mean, you've certainly said that.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm, I want to emphasize
yeah.
it.
Okay. Jeff, not to be mysterious, I've got some vertigo going on.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
It's
So am
that's
I.
difficult. That's difficult. Yeah.
Well,
Sorry?
I said that's difficult to deal with. I'm feel
yeah.
bad for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's do our 8 gates, and certainly keeping all the things going that we've been doing, but really making your focus the lengthening now. And really trying to feel that extension and release back in. Okay? So stepping out. Just taking that moment to allow yourself to land. The feet and legs to release down into the earth. Relax the qua. Be aware of the head lifting off the top of the spine and the spine extending a little without getting stretched. And opening by way to the heavens. And then begin with just allowing energy to sink through your body. The energy that the body can no longer use, dropping into the earth to be refreshed and returned. And then coming back into center. And aware of extending your mind through your body. Really the only way that you can be really aware of what's happening energetically everywhere in your body. Feel your breathing, doing as much of longevity breathing as you can without too much effort. And then aware of the lengthening happening first in your arms, eventually through the whole body. Feel the arms lengthening out, release, and lengthen in. And out. And in. And then out and into the 8 gates. So now releasing in, out, in, out. Trying to stay aware of that movement. Feeling what that does to the energy. Lengthening in and out and in lengthening in, lengthening out, release, in, out, and lengthening in and out, in and out, and lengthening in and lengthening out, in and out, and in and out, in and out, and lengthening in and out, in and out, and lengthening in and out, and in and out, and in, out, and lengthening in, lengthening out, and in, and out, and in, and out, questions there?
One quick one. When you mentioned the longevity breathing, what do you mean exactly by that?
You didn't do that workshop, huh?
I guess I didn't.
What?
I said I guess I didn't.
Uh, so longevity breathing is um, the ideal form of Taoist breathing. It starts with breathing down to the abdomen, the dantian, without moving the chest. And then once that is established, the next stage is to get the sides of the body. Oh,
We've been joined.
we've been joined. This is Moki. Moki came to visit.
Oh, okay.
He's very friendly. um, and when we talk about the sides, so in other words, when you inhale, um, everything comes in, and when you exhale, everything goes out. Now, obviously, in reverse breathing, it goes the other way.
Right.
And you want those sides to move, however small that movement is, uh, from the midriff clear into the armpit. The third step is to breathe into the lower back, meaning down into the sacrum, and into the lower part of the back. Um,
Yeah.
the next stage is breathing into the mid back and into the kidneys, which ultimately is an extremely important element, since being able to effectively breathe into the kidneys can strengthen um, your original energy. It doesn't increase its length or amount particularly, but it does increase its strength. Um, then breathing into the upper back, so that the upper back expands and contracts, and part of the value of that is that you get the heart and the lungs expanding and contracting, and particularly that lungs massage the heart, which contributes to heart health. And the final
Oh,
stage is
wow.
breathing up into the brain. Um, and
Okay.
that's longevity breathing. Nothing to
Okay.
it.
When was that workshop, David?
Oh,
When was that?
years and years ago, Jeff. But it was when you were
Okay. Maybe
around.
it was or was not.
It was. It
Oh,
was.
okay. Yeah,
It
I don't
was.
know why I wouldn't have taken that one.
Yeah. Um,
We also did a good chunk of it in Nagong, which is
yeah.
where I, meditate.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
In
Okay.
meditation, we really work on that a lot.
I see.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thanks for the review. You mentioned it once before and talked a little bit about it like a year or more ago, but I didn't remember much about it. So
You could have
that was good.
to. Trying to think. I was just trying to remember if I had. I suppose in the I could. I will look and see if I have the videos in the early part of the meditation practice where we really focus on that. I might have some
Hmm.
um,
Right.
instruction there on that. Um,
Okay.
Or you can watch a baby breathing.
yes, that'll do.
Uh, that seems a whole lot easier. Yeah, that seems like a good idea, actually.
um, and it is also, if you go to Energy Arts online, I'm sure there's, I don't remember exactly, but I'm sure there is a training in
Okay.
longevity breathing. I know there is. As a matter of fact, I
Right.
know I have a audio for the breathing practice um, that I could certainly let you have. So I'll try to get you some information, Jeff, so you can work on it, because at this point,
Okay,
um, I'm not going to probably be teaching that again.
right. Okay. Yeah, whatever you've got would be appreciated.
Sure. Um, so, how are you standing in that?
Okay.
Okay? Okay, good. I just don't want you to fall over, Bill.
Yeah, no, I'm, it's not at that level. It's,
Oh, good.
uh, right now mostly the headache, which I probably ought to go to see a doctor since it's lingering.
I think that's a good idea.
Um, and sudden movements,
Yeah.
But I've been doing the exercises, and that seems to have cut into the strictly vertigo thing.
Yeah.
This bump on my head is what's concerning me more, I think, right now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So, does anybody have any particular questions in the form? Okay. So, obviously, if you think about it, um, lengthening is also extremely important in any Tai Chi form. And it is happening in conjunction with opening and closing and bending and stretching, all the things that we've talked about, twisting. So in the form, it becomes, as with everything else, much more complicated and difficult, um, in that it's going on at not at a regular pulsing rate, but changing in response to what's actually happening there. So obviously, one of the things that we can do is to take a little pause at each of the ins and outs, and just give yourself a moment to actually feel that occurring. Now, getting it to functionally happen at the pace that we normally flow is a matter of practice over a period of time, which obviously I can't say how long it's going to take somebody to develop that.
yeah, when I concentrate on it, the lengthening, in or out, in the form, I tend, unless I slow way down, I tend to start reaching.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is trying to stretch.
Yeah.
In effect.
Yeah.
So it's back to good old letting go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that when I'll talk about the beginning first, but in a moment. But when you think about going into a pung, um, you have lengthened in, and now you're lengthening out. And you can take that moment there and feel it, and then lengthen in and feel that happening, and then lengthen out and feel that happening, and then in and in and feel that, and then lengthen out. And clearly there doesn't have to be much bending and stretching in that. It's present, but it's feeling the release of all the joints by allowing all that soft tissue to ligaments, tendons, and fascia to let go. And that's not something that we're used to thinking about, so it's certainly initially counterintuitive. But it is a letting go and allowing it to happen. Question there?
Well, David, I'm having the same, I'm having a similar type of experience as Bill in that, I'm wanting to get more of a feel for lengthening in and out, but I can't do that by making the movements bigger because our goal is to make the movements smaller in this particular form. So I
Right.
am having that
So,
difficulty in managing both of those concepts.
yeah, if you just watched me though, what I just did, it didn't get bigger.
Right.
Yeah, right, right.
So lengthening may be very small.
Mm,
I mean, I'm not talking about, you know, the arms suddenly are
8 inches longer.
8 inches longer. Okay, I was thinking 3, but all right, 8 inches longer. It's a small,
right,
it's a small amount. It's what you can feel, what you can do. It's not there.
right.
There is not. Um, you there's not a you have to arrive at letting your arms get 2 inches longer and 2 inches shorter. Um, that's just
Yeah,
not
I
how.
mean, right now my mind is wanting them to get 6 inches longer and 6 inches shorter so that I
Yeah.
can really start to feel what's going on. So that's
Um,
that's what I'm saying is it's
so
counter to
go,
what I should be doing.
go back to allowing them to get a quarter of an inch longer and a quarter of an inch shorter, Be-
Right, okay.
because um, culturally we're holding on and trying to do everything. We're in
Yeah,
control.
yeah.
So this is not being uncontrolled, but it is absolutely letting go of trying,
Mhm.
and obviously not thinking
Right,
too much also, but trying to feel
right.
what's going on. Just another element here of the mind being extended through the body, because if you can't feel that fascia relaxing in there and letting go and allowing you to lengthen, then you're not going to be able to feel it releasing and coming in. Um,
Right.
it's it's one of those things where I don't, as I said, if you were here, there are a couple of things I could do um, that
Right.
might give you an idea about it, but it's not exactly the same. Um,
Yeah, no, and it's also just over time I will get more and more accustomed to feeling it with less and less physical movement. So that's
yeah,
that's where I'm at.
yeah. So absolutely let go of the 6 inches because
Okay, I'm trying.
um, I I don't remember exactly what I started with, but I
Right, that's
remember that it was Bill Ryan that really helped me um, be aware of this and really feel it. Um, and I don't know. One of the things was, in addition to doing something to you, one of the things is to be here and feel it. Hold on to my arm and feel it happening. Because
Right.
some that was for me, that was the big aha.
Hmm.
Um, was actually
Okay.
being able to feel what was happening there and to recognize
Right.
that it wasn't the muscles reaching out and the muscles pulling back, but that it was all that soft tissue just letting go and
Right.
releasing in, and it's not huge. Um, sure, um, Bruce is huge when he does it. Um, I'm
Right.
not, but I definitely have it.
I think for me, the pole or at
Uh huh.
home, the corner of a room where I can put my hand out and
Yeah.
work on it and just see that I've gotten a quarter inch,
Yeah.
you know,
A doorway sometimes is
yeah,
a good place to do that.
yeah.
To just
Right.
and as I was just doing with the form, but also um, it lengthens the 8 gates a lot, but pause at each in and out, and try to just feel that happening. Um, and if you can um, find that you can do it in the doorway somewhere, you know that you can release and yeah, oh it went
Right.
it went out it went out a couple of inches, but it
Yeah.
but to begin with it may be much smaller than that, but you can get a
Hmm.
real sense that something is happening there.
And you can monitor not using the muscles, for example,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, and then take that into um, the movements in the 8 gates, because it's a simple way, and I put that in quotes, but it's a simple way to practice it. Um,
Hmm.
it does take a little time. I
Right.
mean, if you're going to pause at each in and out, um, even for a few seconds, it obviously will add to that. So if you don't have time, you
Right.
only do it for a couple of postures, and then you flow through the rest. You simply do what you can. Um,
Right.
but it
Can we do a bit more of that? You know, for whether it's for a few postures or the whole flow or whatever, you know, this week, next week, whenever, just some of that pausing again.
Sure,
Okay.
sure. We can do some right now.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't I don't have
Yeah, but
anything
that is
particular that I was um, needing to do with the
okay.
form. So yeah, we could do that.
Right. Yeah, and you know, to me at this particular point today, that's a lot more helpful than if I work on a specific posture today. You know, this
Okay.
I want to try and get this feel through the whole thing. So if we do some of that, it will help me a lot in doing it on my own.
Sure. Sure. Okay, we got lots of time. Okay. So, um, if I sit down in the middle of this, don't let it throw you. That just means my back said sit down. So, can you see me pretty well?
Yes, as well as I can using my phone for this, I can see you. Yes.
Oh, right, you're on your phone. I forgot.
In other words, you're in good position for the video. Yes.
Okay. So, stepping out, And just take that moment to let yourself land and be aware. And really, in order to feel the ligaments, tendons, and fascia, you have to have the mind extending through the body. You have to feel what's inside the skin. And just while you're standing here, see if you can allow yourself to lengthen out. So just feel everything release. And the arms, let the hands drop towards the earth. And then lengthen in. And just pause a moment and feel that lengthening in. And it will come to a natural stop. And then lengthen out. So release, let go. Try to let go all the way through the scapula to the spine. And then lengthen in. And pause a moment. And lengthen out. And pause. And let that extension complete. And then going into the form, you're going to lengthen in. And you're coming halfway up. And pause. Feel that lengthening in. All the way back to the spine. And then lengthening out. And feel it going out. It doesn't mean it gets bigger. It means you let go. Feel the scapula move, the shoulders move, the elbows release, the wrist and fingers, and all of a sudden there's a flow of energy. And then lengthening in and pause. And just feel that all the way through the body. And then lengthening out. And pause. Let it complete. And eventually you want the movement to be continuous. So lengthening in and pause. And lengthening out and pause. And feel that sense of the rubber bands stretching out. And then releasing back in as you lengthen in. Relaxing, softening. lengthening out. And lengthening in. Again, think of that movement halfway and pause. Letting go. Aware of the hands lined up with the sidelines of your body, not too close to the center. And then lengthening out into kun, earth, and let go. And lengthening in, and lengthening out. And lengthening in, and lengthening out. And feel that release. And lengthening in, feel the release in. And lengthening out. And lengthening in. And lengthening out. And lengthening in. And lengthening out. Keep going. I need to take this. Hello. Lengthening in and pause. Halfway up. Try to find the midpoint of those transition movements. And halfway out, I mean not halfway, lengthening out and let go, release. Heart level. And lengthening in and pause. And feel it happening. Letting go, relaxing, releasing. Not forcing the muscles to work. And lengthening out. And lengthening in through the fingers, the hands, the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, the scapula, all the way to the spine. scapula, shoulders, elbows, wrists, hands, and fingers. Letting go of every joint and every soft tissue. Not collapsing. There's a difference between letting go and collapsing. And lengthening in and pause. And lengthening out. And lengthening in. Lengthening out. To let go of any tension when it starts to develop. Release it. Lengthening in. Lengthening out. Lengthening in. Lengthening out. Then lengthening in halfway up on the center line of the body, on the sidelines of the body. Feel that in all the way back. And lengthening out. Release the shoulders, release the elbows. Lengthening in. Lengthening out. Let go. Lengthening in. And out. Feel the energy move in as you lengthen in. And out as you lengthen out. And then lengthen in. Find that midpoint on the sidelines. And then lengthen out. And release. Let go. And lengthen in, let it spring back in. In and out. In, all the way back to the spine. Out. In, crossing the wrists. And out. Feel that release. Remember, this is at the level of the middle dantian, not the level of the heart. In and out. In and out. And lengthening in. The energy moves through the fascia all the way back to the spine. And out through the fascia all the way to the fingertips. And lengthening in lengthening out. Make sure the elbows are pointing to the earth. And lengthening in and lengthening out. And in and out. And in and out. And in and out. And just try to be aware of what's happened in your body as you did this. See if there's any change. What's happening now that wasn't before. Helpful, Jeff?
Yes, and it, especially in when you said a couple of times about relaxing and letting go doesn't mean losing your structure, basically. And I'm
Yeah.
finding it, I have to constantly remind myself to not let go so much that I lose some structure.
Yep.
That's easy to do.
Good.
Yeah, I have two things. One is that I have to be careful with lengthening in, not to tighten.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's actually a foreign concept to be in and relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, simultaneously.
Yeah.
And the other thing was just a constant battle between the bending and stretching is going on at the same time as lengthening and
Yep.
in and out, and trying to understand which is which, and not use stretching to
Yeah.
to be lengthening.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's, for us, that's takes a while sometimes. Yeah. Obviously, to do that as a practice takes a while. I don't really know quite how long that took us, but um, it takes a bit of time. But I think that it is a way to really teach yourself to feel this. And then it's easier to take it into other practices, like movement 7.
Hint, hint.
um, so um, I think I'm going to end it there today. Unless any other questions?
Nope.
Well, try to work on this a bit this week if you can, and see if you can feel a little more lengthening. And don't worry about it in the form, really. Um, at this point, it's much, much, much easier to do it in the 8 gates.
Yeah.
Still not easy, but easier.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, I'm just going to say before you dash off, after I stop.
All right. See you guys next week.
Yeah.
Okay, have a good one, Jeff.
No, wrong thing, David.